Welcome, everyone. I'm thrilled to have you here today. We're about to explore how unlocking human potential can be achieved, one honest conversation at a time. The focus of our presentation is on why constructive feedback is such a powerful tool for promoting exemplary leadership. Over the next few slides, we'll discuss how honest dialogue can transform teams and foster growth. So, let's dive in and discover how simple conversations can make a big difference. In today's fast-changing work environment, staying adaptable is more important than ever, and that's where honest, frequent feedback really makes a difference. Leadership isn't just about giving orders, it's about behaviors that build trust, foster growth, and empower teams. And feedback is the key tool we use to create that kind of leadership. Now, let's look at the gap between how often feedback is given and how supported employees feel. When feedback is only provided once a year, only about 33% of employees report feeling supported at work. That's quite a low number. But when feedback happens weekly, that support jumps significantly, up to 59%. And if feedback is happening regularly, say weekly or even more often, a striking 92% of employees feel supported. This gap really highlights why frequent feedback isn't just a nice-to-have, it's essential. It directly impacts how supported and engaged people feel at work. As we move through this presentation, keep in mind that closing this feedback gap is crucial for building trust and driving performance. It's about making sure our leadership behaviors match the support our teams need to succeed. Leaders need to shift their approach from simply directing to asking more questions. Instead of focusing solely on obedience, the goal is to develop the capability of our teams. This means fostering an environment where asking the right questions helps people grow and think critically. That's why I often say, tell less and ask more. When we provide constructive feedback, we're not just correcting behavior, we're promoting autonomy and encouraging critical thinking. This approach drives genuine insight, rather than surface-level agreement that doesn't lead to real change. Now, in this context, it's helpful to think about the traditional feedback cycle. Often, it looks like this. The manager tells the employee what to do, the employee nods politely, and then nothing really changes. This is what I call the compliance loop. It's hollow because it doesn't promote real understanding or growth. Instead, we want feedback that fuels thinking. Feedback that prompts reflection and discussion, rather than mere compliance. When leaders ask thoughtful questions and encourage deeper thinking, we're moving toward a more effective, engaging, and ultimately more impactful way of leading. Feedback isn't just a tool for assessing performance, it's also a powerful psychological signal that communicates, "Your growth matters to me." When we avoid giving feedback or handle it poorly, we risk eroding trust and morale within our teams. This can lead to disengagement, a decline in performance, and even the loss of top talent. Now, silence has a real cost. Leaders who strike a balance by blending positive reinforcement with honest, constructive critique tend to foster greater engagement. They also spark creative thinking because team members feel supported and challenged at the same time. This balance is essential because it fuels innovation. Feedback taps into a fundamental human desire for self-improvement. When people see a clear path to grow, they become more fully engaged in their work. As Dr. Janine Stichter highlighted in 2024, this drive for mastery is a core motivator. Ultimately, understanding the psychology behind feedback in leadership helps us create environments where individuals are motivated to develop and excel. It's about more than just performance. It's about nurturing a mindset of continuous growth. Constructive feedback is really about providing clear and actionable steps that help team members grow their confidence and skills over time. When leaders master this skill, they can build high-performing, resilient teams that are aligned with shared goals. It's not just about pointing out what needs improvement, but guiding people in a way that motivates and empowers them. Regular feedback plays a crucial role here. It helps team members identify and close critical skill gaps, which is essential for continuous development. In fact, about 60% of skills gaps are closed when feedback is consistently provided. And there's more. Research shows that 53% of organizations report that frequent feedback directly drives measurable performance improvement. So it's not just about individual growth. It's about boosting overall team and organizational performance. This slide really highlights how impactful constructive feedback can be on both performance and skill development. It's a vital part of creating a culture of continuous improvement and resilience, aligning perfectly with our overall theme of effective leadership and team development. Let's dive into the 5 principles of reflective feedback for leaders. First, it's crucial to understand that timely feedback helps keep insights relevant and actionable. When we provide feedback promptly, it allows others to immediately understand what's working and what needs adjustment, making the insights much more impactful. Next, delivering feedback promptly is key. The sooner, the better. This keeps the conversation fresh and meaningful. It also demonstrates respect and attentiveness, fostering trust. Moving on, asking questions instead of telling people what to do builds trust and psychological openness. When we approach feedback with curiosity rather than control, it encourages a more honest and collaborative dialogue. A helpful method here is the SBI model: situation, behavior, impact. Describe the specific situation, the behavior observed, and the impact it had. Then, add a reflective question to deepen understanding, inviting your team member to consider their perspective and foster self-awareness. Another important point is helping others understand why change matters, not just what to fix. When we focus on the reasoning behind the feedback, it motivates change and makes the conversation more meaningful. Finally, I want to highlight the importance of focusing on thinking. Invite reflection with questions like, "What worked well?" This opens up dialogue rather than closing it, encouraging a growth mindset. All these principles come together to create a conversation, rather than a verdict, that promotes trust, understanding, and continuous improvement. Training leaders in structured feedback models really makes a difference. It boosts their confidence, helps them avoid the fear of giving feedback, and importantly, it actually improves how engaged their teams feel. This is backed by research from Penn State Extension in 2025, showing just how impactful proper feedback training can be. But here's the thing: no single feedback style works for everyone. People are different, and effective leaders know that. They adapt their approach based on each individual's emotional needs and how they communicate. This is key to creating psychological safety, where team members feel safe to share and receive feedback openly and honestly. So, when we talk about tailored feedback, it's really about customizing your approach to fit the person you're working with. It ensures that your feedback is not just heard, but genuinely received and appreciated. That's why this slide is titled Tailored for Impact. It highlights the importance of using models and strategies that are flexible and effective for different individuals. When leaders master these strategies, they can give feedback that truly resonates and drives growth. Remember, the goal is to create an environment where feedback is a tool for development, not a source of stress. When you adapt your style to each person, you're helping foster a stronger, more engaged team. When everyone coaches everyone, feedback shifts from being a rare event to a daily habit. It becomes part of our regular routine, helping us grow continuously. This idea of a continuous growth habit means that feedback flows in all directions, not just top-down. It's about solving problems together, fostering collaboration rather than assigning blame. Creating a two-way dialogue is essential. When feedback is open and honest, trust and shared purpose develop, starting from the top levels of leadership. As CHCS noted in 2019, shared understanding and acceptance are rooted in that leadership tone. Leaders play a critical role. They set the tone for this positive feedback culture. By modeling openness and encouraging this way of communication, they influence the entire organization. Ultimately, creating a positive feedback culture isn't just about giving feedback. It's about creating an environment where everyone feels safe, valued, and motivated to contribute to continuous improvement. Courageous clarity is such a powerful tool because it helps us cut through ambiguity and really push our team's performance forward. When we communicate with honesty and directness, we create an environment where everyone knows where they stand and what's expected, which fuels progress. Now, to do this effectively, we need to accelerate alignment. That means meeting people where they are, recognizing that everyone has different emotional and cognitive styles. And instead of trying to fit everyone into the same mold, we should be flexible and genuinely curious about their perspectives. That openness helps us connect and collaborate more effectively. Handling difficult feedback moments is another critical piece. Instead of seeing them as conflicts or failures, we should view them as opportunities, moments to build trust rather than break it. When we give feedback with empathy, it shows that we care about the person's growth, not just the task at hand. This leads us to the importance of leaning in with empathy. A simple act of care, when we deliver honest feedback with kindness, can be incredibly impactful. It's one of the most powerful acts of leadership because it affirms that, I see you, I value you, and I believe in your potential. This mindset is what I like to call the courageous leader's creed. It's about embracing those courageous conversations, even when they're uncomfortable, because they're essential for growth, both for the individual and for the team. Ultimately, exemplary leaders understand that having these honest, courageous conversations is what truly drives trust, engagement, and high performance. The lasting competitive advantage of any organization truly comes down to its culture, a culture where honest, caring feedback flows freely. And it's important to remember that leadership plays a crucial role here. It acts as the catalyst that fosters this kind of environment. Investing in feedback skills and cultivating this culture right now is essential. When we lead with curiosity, courage, and care, we create a space where feedback isn't just a management tool, but a powerful driver of growth. I encourage you to start today because, when done well, feedback has the power to transform individuals, teams, and entire organizations. It's not just about correcting or guiding, it's about fostering human growth and development. Constructive feedback is more than a task, it's a commitment to helping others reach their potential. This mindset is at the heart of effective leadership. When we adopt this perspective, we see feedback as a vital part of exemplary leadership, a core element that defines how we lead and inspire others. Ultimately, feedback is not just a process, but the heartbeat of truly impactful leadership.